Kyle Stowers has had an amazing breakout year, leading the farm in home runs, RBIs, extra base hits.
Might have done it again. He's watching it fly. 448 feet.
You know, I obviously have a high belief in myself as a player and what I'm capable of doing on the field. Orioles in a good spot. I think the fans have something to be really excited about.
Another top 10 prospect in the Orioles farm system could be making his major league debut this week. April brought Kyle Bradish, May brought Adley Rutschman, and maybe June will bring Kyle Stowers. Hi, everybody, and welcome into MASN All Access. I'm Brendan Mortensen, joined now by Tim Leonard. And Tim, it's an exciting time here in Birdland as we are finally starting to see the fruits of the labor of this Mike Elias rebuild, and another prospect in Kyle Stowers could be making his debut against the Blue Jays.
Very exciting time, Brendan. I think after Adley Rutschman made his debut, a lot of us were focused on who's next, and Grayson Rodriguez was that guy for a while. Unfortunately, the injury has set his timetable back. But now Kyle Stowers, someone whose production has been sort of right there and borderline ready to make this leap for a little bit. Seems like he could be making his debut very soon.
Stowers, the 24-year-old product out of Stanford, has been fantastic this season, as we saw all throughout 2021. He has been on fire over his last 20 games, a batting average over 300, that batting average at 320 with a slugging percentage over 700. That's good for an OPS of 1.129. And you look at the stats for his season as a whole thus far over 49 games, 253 batting average with 12 home runs and 34 RBIs. And last year for Kyle Stowers, he started in Aberdeen at just high single A and was kind of a meteoric rise up to AAA Norfolk. Before the season started, Paul Mancano got a chance to break down Stowers' game and what we might see from him in 2022. And Tim, Kyle Stowers, we'll get to that piece there in a second. But Stowers, it looked like he was ready to go for a little bit now. He won an International League Player of the Week, but the Orioles, with a crowded outfield, didn't really have room for him. But Stowers, over the last few weeks, has been really impressive so far.
Yeah, the amazing thing about those numbers, Brendan, is he had a stretch this season where he did slump from mid-April to early May. He hit about 130 over a 20-game stretch there, but he's had 8 homers in his past 21 games now, so he's trending upward. And certainly last year is that first year where we saw that Kyle Stowers really possesses some pop and some power and was progressing. He had 27 homers across 3 levels last year, which was the most in the Orioles farm system last season.
And as we saw in that stat graphic, it's been a great year for Kyle Stowers so far. That OPS just a tick over 900. And like we mentioned before the season, Paul Mancano got a chance to look at Stowers' game and what he could bring to Baltimore.
You don't have to look hard to find signs of improvement from Orioles prospect Kyle Stowers.
And it's hit in the air to center field. He might have done it again. He's watching it fly. 448 feet.
The outfielder was bigger, stronger, and flat out better in 2021 than the last time we saw him.
Stowers, of course, leading the farm in home runs and RBIs, extra base hits.
But Stowers' biggest area of growth can't be found on a stat sheet.
That's one thing that I've improved on a ton this year, is even when things aren't going so well early in the game, my confidence in myself and my belief in finishing that game strong doesn't waver.
Stowers' breakout season is reason enough to get excited about his potential, but it's the 24-year-old's impressive makeup that makes his ceiling as high as he wants it to be. Stowers was in the 5th inning of a game against Fresno State when his name was called in the 2019 MLB draft. It made for a memorable moment. Kyle joined Stanford teammates Andrew Dashbaugh and Maverick Handley at short-season single-A Aberdeen a few weeks later.
You go into pro baseball and to experience it with 2 of your closest friends is really nice because it adds a little comfortability off the bat.
Stowers' first pro season was somewhat of a struggle. The former competitive balance round pick hit just .216 in 55 games.
For me, learning how to flush things and go to the next day and not allow things to snowball was kind of a little more difficult to do than I thought, but at the same time, you need those experiences to learn from.
But the time off in 2020 afforded him the opportunity to take a step back.
Kind of the nice thing about the year off is it kind of forces you to put things back into perspective, and just kind of went into the year with no expectations and only just hoping to stay healthy and allow myself to just enjoy playing baseball again. I think that kind of playing with that no pressure mindset has helped a lot for me and carried me through the season.
Stowers looked like a much improved hitter in his second stint in Aberdeen to start 2021, but it was at AA Bowie where he took off.
And Stowers hits it in the air to center field. Got a lot of it. Back to the wall goes De La Rosa. It's up and it's gone! Stowers, a 2-home run night!
The California kid mashed 17 homers in just 66 games.
That ball is well out of here. A home run for Kyle Stowers.
Matt Blood and the Orioles front office had seen enough. Stowers got the call to AAA Norfolk with a month left in the minor league season. The promotion did little to slow his production.
That ball's carrying, and that ball has left the yard. Another home run for Kyle Stowers, his third with the Tides.
3 weeks later, Stowers and Rutschman were honored at Camden Yards as the Orioles minor league co-players of the year.
To win it alongside Adley, who's one of my best friends, and someone I just love playing the game with and love being around. I think that makes it, even more special.
Stowers' 27 homers in 2021 has sent him rocketing up prospect rankings, but Kyle's growth mindset never has him thinking too far ahead.
We're not getting too caught up in, the past and not allowing that to kind of weigh us down, but rather using it as a way to learn and progress.
Now, Stowers did not have many struggles last season. He put up some fantastic numbers en route to winning co-minor league player of the year. But Tim, one area where Stowers was a little bit shaky was the strikeout numbers. He had a 32% strikeout rate last year, but he's shown a ton of improvement in that area in 2022.
Yeah, down to 25% this season, strikeout rate-wise in AAA. And just in AAA last year was 35% specifically for AAA. So that's a 10% drop this year. That's going to be the biggest thing, Brendan, when he does get that call up to the major leagues. How quickly can he sort of progress and not be chasing at pitches outside of the zone and make sure that the strikeout rate doesn't get too high, because he's very much a modern hitter where he's got tons of pop, tons of pull side power, but it's a longer swing as well, so he's prone to the strikeouts.
Now, Stowers is able to play center field, but this season he's been playing primarily right field, and it kind of seems like the Orioles are morphing him into that right field power hitter mold where he might strike out a lot, but he's going to hit a lot of home runs for you.
I think right field is probably the best position for him going forward, especially considering he's a lefty throwing guy. He's a lefty batter as well, which I think is noteworthy given that the Orioles are probably in need of more power from the left side of their lineup as opposed to the right side. And that's something that Brandon Hyde mentioned yesterday when he talked about Kyle Stowers being added to the taxi squad. The fact that he's a lefty bat and has tons of upside is a big part of the puzzle for him.
Now, Kyle Stowers and those strikeout numbers could still use some improvements in 2022, and pretty much any minor leaguer we talk to hammers home the point of swing decisions. That's what the Orioles are preaching across organizational levels, and that was not lost on Kyle Stowers when I talked to him down in AAA Norfolk earlier on this year.
Your OPS is approximately like 2 million. Having a good start to the season so far. What's been working?
Yeah, I mean, it's early, so it's nice to have gone to a good start. I think sometimes early in the season you feel like those stats can be exaggerated. So I think whether you're doing well or not doing well, it's just about staying even-keeled and just kind of going into each day knowing that, you got to take care of your business and do the best you can, and that's all you can do.
Now, like you mentioned, small sample size, but at least so far it looks like your plate discipline has been much improved. Is that a big point of emphasis?
Yeah, funny enough, as far as striking out, it's been a little bit better, but as far as swing decision, I feel like I still have a lot of room to improve, and I feel like I can zone up even more. So it's nice to see that I'm having success, and then also feel like I still have an area I can improve a lot in.
Do you feel like that's your biggest focus area?
I would say absolutely. I think just as an organization, we talk about swing decisions so much, and it's so important to swing at the right pitches because the guys that have success at the highest level are the guys that swing at the right pitches. So I'd say definitely my key focus.
Now, obviously, you had a little bit of time here last year, not a ton. Is there anything
It's fun winning games, man. We're having a good time. We had a great group of guys last year too, but I think going into this year, we just have the mindset to want to win games, and it starts in the minor leagues. So I think that's a big focus for us.
Now, backtracking a little bit, can you talk to me about your spring training experience?
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. It was super cool to be around the big league staff and the big league players. I didn't necessarily perform how I'd like to at the plate, but at the same time, my confidence and belief in myself never wavered, and just got to keep getting better and keep learning from that experience, and we'll be good.
Any veteran players up there who's bringing some kind of good players?
Yeah, I think all of them. I'd definitely say Hayes and Mancini were the guys I talked to the most, but all of them were super helpful and definitely very welcoming. So that was very helpful to have guys that weren't giving you the cold shoulder or anything, because at the end of the day, we're all trying to do the same thing and just play our best baseball, and eventually, one day win a World Series. That's the goal, and we want to win games. So it was nice to be around those guys.
Now, obviously, at AAA, kind of one step from the majors. Do you feel like there's any boxes you need to check before you get to that?
I just want to get, to whatever vision I have of myself and, potential or whatever, I just want to get one step closer to that each day. If I can be a little bit better today than I was yesterday, then I think that's a win for me. As far as everything else, I think the cards will fall as they may, and I can just take care of what I can control.
Now, defensively, you're playing a lot of right field. I know last year you were kind of all over the place in the outfield. Do you still feel comfortable in center and left, or is it mostly right field?
Yeah, absolutely. I have no preference for any of the three. Whatever it takes to get in the lineup, I feel like I have a high belief in my defense, and so I'm completely okay with playing any of those three.
So if you're in the lineup guard and center, you feel good about that?
I'd feel good about it, yes, sir. Yeah.
So any players at this level that you've been impressed with so far this year?
Man, we got a good squad. I could talk through the whole lineup. Obviously, guys like Taron Vavra and Tyler Nevin just really control their at-bats every single time. Richie Martin, his work ethic, on the field, off the field, it's just very impressive. I honestly could talk about each guy so much, but we got such a great group. It's been a lot of fun.
And finally, how fun is it to be in a lineup with so many good hitters?
It's fun. We're putting up a lot of runs, so that's been a lot of fun. Last week, I think we scored over 10 a few times, so it's fun to get the passing on to the next guy and each guy doing damage. It makes for good environment and good energy.
Now, Kyle Stowers, a very humble guy, even when he was mashing at AAA Norfolk, was still quick to point out the fact that he had plenty of things that he could improve on. And over the last few weeks, we have seen that improvement out of Kyle Stowers. And Tim, I don't think the question recently has been, is Kyle Stowers ready for the major leagues? I think the question has been, okay, he's ready, but where are we going to put him?
Exactly. I mean, the Orioles have Austin Hayes, Cedric Mullins, Anthony Santander. That's three players that are everyday players right now for the Orioles, and you want to keep it that way. And Mike Elias and the entire organization has been pretty vocal about the fact that once they bring up a prospect, they want them to have everyday reps and everyday opportunities, because it takes some time for guys to get used to playing at the major league level. It's a big leap from AAA to the major league level. So it seems like they're going to try and give him an opportunity. Maybe in this Toronto series presents an opportunity for him to get everyday opportunities. And then from there, Brendan, it's probably just see how it goes from there and see how effective he is. Because the production has been there for a while for Kyle Stowers. It's just in the outfield position, it's very overcrowded. And I think it's a little bit different than if he was playing a different position.
Right, and Kyle Stowers has a pedigree that's a little bit more so than somebody like Ryan McKenna. McKenna has been in that number 4 outfielder role for the Orioles for it seems like the last year or so. He bounces between Baltimore and AAA Norfolk. And do you really see a scenario, Tim, where the Orioles would have Kyle Stowers bouncing back and forth as the 4th outfielder on this team?
I don't think so, and I also feel like what Ryan McKenna possesses as the 4th outfielder, he's got a high defensive tool, he's got some speed on the base pass. Kyle Stowers is average to above average in those categories, but I wouldn't say he's anything more than average on the base pass, and he's more of an offensive-minded player than defensive-minded player. So I think it's important for him to just get at-bats and just get consistent at-bats at this level. And that's what we saw last year. The more he got at-bats, the more he was hitting homers. It seems like he got in that little bit of a slump this year, but he started to change his posture, change his swing a little bit, and he's starting to trend in the right direction. I think that's really important, Brendan, that he's coming in hot, right? And he's seeing the ball well at the AAA level going into when he could be making his major league debut.
Now, it seems like with prospects, opportunities always seem to present themselves, whether it's injuries or through trades. None of those things have really happened so far for Kyle Stowers. So assuming that everybody stays healthy, the Orioles stick with their regular 3 outfielders in Cedric Mullins, Austin Hayes, and Anthony Santander. And then at DH, you've got either Ryan Mountcastle or Trey Mancini, and sometimes Adley Rutschman if he's not catching that day. If everybody stays healthy and assuming that there's not a trade anytime soon, where do you put Kyle Stowers in this lineup?
It's the $1 million question, right? I think you have to get creative with the DH position and make sure that you're using that to the best of your ability. Maybe use Anthony Santander at DH some. Maybe you bring Austin Hayes at DH and you put Stowers in a corner outfield spot when Hayes would have normally been in that spot. Because the key is definitely going to be getting Kyle Stowers everyday opportunities when he comes up. There's no point in bringing him up just to play him for a little bit and then bring him back down like you were hinting at earlier, Brendan. So you get creative with the DH position. It's going to be tough, and I think that's why we haven't quite seen him as early as maybe we would have thought given the production for Kyle Stowers. But there's ways to get creative now that you have guys that could be playing that DH position.
Good problems to have if you're the Baltimore Orioles, trying to figure out places to put good prospects in your lineup. It remains to be seen whether Kyle Stowers will make his debut in Toronto against the Blue Jays. As of right now, he is just on the taxi squad, is not on the active roster as of yet. But we will see if the Orioles decide to use Kyle Stowers against a fantastic Toronto Blue Jays pitching rotation over this 4-game series. But Tim and I are far from done about talking about Kyle Stowers and his potential debut. Make sure you don't miss the MASN All Access podcast. Tim and I will be hosting tomorrow morning talking about everything Kyle Stowers. We'll see if he makes his major league debut tonight. And if not, we're going to speculate the whole way about what Kyle Stowers could bring to Baltimore and the outfield. Thanks so much for tuning in. Make sure you catch that MASN All Access podcast tomorrow morning. We'll be talking plenty more about Kyle Stowers, and we hope to see you then.